Hi guys, and welcome back to Leslie Through the Looking Glass. For those of you that are new here, hi, my name is Leslie. I'm so happy to have you. My returning viewers, as always, thank you so much for coming back to support my channel. It really means so much to me. Alright guys, we are back with another Mental Health Monday video. For my regular viewers, I am sorry I did not put out a video this weekend of Disney or fun content. I've really been struggling since the last video, and that's what this is going to be about today, but hopefully I'm going to get back on track after this weekend. I'm feeling a little bit better about things. I had therapy today. So basically we're just going to get into this on how the craziness of last week went, how it affected me, and where we're at this week. All right, so I have been struggling monumentally this past week. And by monumentally, I mean, I feel like everything that I have done to get where I was reset, gone out the window. So I had therapy today. I'm really emotional today about everything, but at the same time, I also feel like this is probably the best spot I have been in since last Monday. So yeah, without further ado, I guess let me get into what's going on and kind of give you guys some insight. And this is mostly going to be about like anxiety, worst case scenarios, and like my take on how this journey goes. After I filmed last Monday and uploaded my video, I took my daughter to my work to go see puppies and kitties for a little bit, and then we were going to run some errands, but she decided she wanted to go to the park. It had been raining on and off all day, so I figured, sure, let's go to the park, run out some of your energy. We've been cooped up all Monday. Go to the park. She wants to go down a slide. I am like scooping off as much water as I can at the bottom for her, and I'm walking back around as she's climbing up. Her foot slips because everything is wet and slippery, and she face plants on the bar, like broken tooth, bleeding lips, falls through the bar onto the ground. I watched it all happen like in slow motion, but couldn't get there. Nothing I could do to stop that as it happened. And it has pretty much crushed me this past week. As a parent, even especially as a mother, like that mom guilt feeling is real when you see something happen that you feel like you should have been able to stop, or knowing that you made choices that could have stopped it, or lack of choices. So when she fell, I saw it happen, and she was bleeding and crying, so I hauled her to the car. I had a really cold bottle of water. I found a towel, so I was holding pressure on her lip, trying to figure out the bleeding. She was crying that she didn't want to leave the park because my kid is tough as nails, this one. Much tougher than her mama. But as I'm cleaning her face and holding some pressure, I noticed that half of her tooth is missing, or close to half of her tooth. So I immediately panic with not knowing what to do. I don't know if this is a emergency visit. I don't know if this is called a pediatrician's visit. I did not know what to do. And that feeling just grew and got worse. And I felt so guilty and just panicked. I had to call my husband to see what he thought I should do. I called the dentist. Long story short, called the dentist, made an appointment for a couple days. She did not appear to be in any pain other than her actual lip. Her teeth did not hurt her. So came home. My husband was really on it and had like ice cold water and asked her to drink some of it right away out of a bottle so it would hit that tooth to make sure that like it wasn't super sensitive, which kudos to him, because I don't know that I would have thought of that even outside of the anxiety and the panic that I had. And I just lost it. I completely snapped, you guys. I felt like the worst mom in the world. I felt reckless. I felt like I did this to my kid. All the things. I couldn't get myself out of those thoughts because the tool that usually is most effective for me is like rationalizing with facts as to how those things aren't truths, and that it's my brain playing tricks. But I really couldn't do that because I felt like, like, yes, kids have accidents, but accidents can be avoided. I could have made better decisions and we would have never been in this situation, so therefore it is directly my fault. Like, I still can have a hard time using facts to get myself out of this thought process this time around. And I think because so much of it is not factual, right? Like, you can argue both sides on this one to me. And it's something we talked about in therapy today, that facts don't always work because some things are not so cut and dry. A lot of what I've dealt with has been, and so that has worked really well for me. But this wasn't the same scenario, so it was more of a struggle. And this was more about learning to accept what happened and move on, and how to get to that point. And that's something that I've really struggled with. I also, on top of those feelings of guilt and everything, like, your head goes to the worst place scenario when these things happen, when you're struggling with anxiety. So on top of just like the facts of she fell, bleeding, tooth missing, aside from those, my brain goes to, well, what if there's more damage we don't know about? What if, like, her bone is broken in her lip? What if she has a concussion that's really dangerous that we don't know? What if we take her to the dentist because we have to get this taken care of and it makes her terrified of the dentist forever? What if we take her in and they report us to CPS because they think I'm beating my child? What if? All of, like, literally, these are the things that just like rattled through my brain, like, within moments of this, you guys. Like, what if everybody, including my family, thinks that I wasn't taking good care of my child? What if? And I still, like, just have all of that emotion and those fears. So it had been a really tough week for me, and like trying to figure out how to sort through all of it. And I felt like I had done so much therapy and done so much work, and then I handled this so poorly and had no tools that seemed to make this any better for me, that it felt like such a huge setback. Like, so I had a therapy session today, and there's a fly in here, sorry guys. In therapy we talked about these things and how I felt, why I was struggling, how I didn't feel like I had the right tools anymore to get through this. And the big reminder of the day is, unfortunately, like, this is a lifelong struggle. This isn't going to just magically go away. I've been dealing with this for maybe not half my life, but close at this point, we think. So I can't expect something that's been building over so many years to just be fixed in a year and a half. It's a work in progress, which sometimes I think it's easy to forget that. And that not every tool works for every situation. So it was about, working on acceptance and getting to a place where I'm not holding myself accountable and letting go of those things that I can't reason or fact out. And I'm gonna get there. I'm not there. I no longer feel like, oh, I'm the worst mom in the world. I'm no longer thinking people are gonna think I beat my child. Like, a lot of those thoughts I've been able to work through and get by. I still feel guilty. I still harbor a lot of that guilt. I still feel like I maybe didn't make the most responsible choices. But the big thing going forward was, how do I be okay enough that I don't put any of this anxiety on Amelia? She is adventurous and she is crazy and independent and fierce, and I don't want to take any of that away from her. I don't want her to be scared or anxious or be afraid. So that was really the main focus today, was more so on like, how do I just get to that place as I work through accepting all of it. And it's hard. She was climbing a ladder. We went to the playground today before lunch, and she was climbing like a curved ladder and too busy talking to the little girl who had climbed up ahead of her and almost fell through again because she just wasn't paying attention because she is distracted. And so after she came down the slide, I just called her over for a minute and said, hey, you gotta be really careful when you're climbing on things, and just make sure you're paying attention to what you're doing, and talk once you get to the top, because, she does get distracted. So those are like the really big things, and accidents do happen. And I think it's natural for us to like feel like we could have done something different. I really do. But it's life, right? And kids get hurt. And even though like that's not what I saw most of the time growing up, me and my brother were more cautious by nature, I think. Especially me. My brother was a little bit less probably. But it's just sometimes I don't know that this is the normal, and have to accept that and be okay with it. But yeah, so it's been a struggle. I've really questioned myself a lot. And if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen my post today, but like basically what sums this up is that, our brains take us to these really unhealthy places, and it's hard. And I get it. If you are there with me on this and your brain takes you to the worst places sometimes, I get it. Just know you're not alone. Just know others go through the same thing. I see you, because it sucks and it's hard. And then the other thing is, like, this is a journey. I've said this from the beginning. Sorry guys, my nose is super itchy. I don't know if it's from being at the park and all the like pollen and stuff, but holy cow. It's a journey. I've said this from the beginning. I want to document my journey, that I expect backslides. Like, it's not always this perfect, wonderful thing. But this was more than a backslide to me. Like, this was like a steep plummet down, not a backslide. But I posted the image on Instagram today, and it's just a really good reminder. If you don't follow me there, I'll put it down below, and if you want to go take a peek, you can. But the graphic basically shows like what you think your journey through anxiety will be like, and it's just like your slow progression up, right? And it said like reality of what this journey is, and it's like loops and downs and ups and crazy like patterns, because it's a work in progress, and you cannot let these things defeat you. It's all about moving forward after the backslides and after the plummets, and fighting your way back. And that's where the journey is. And wherever you're at on your journey, just know it changes. It changes constantly. Don't get too comfortable, but don't dwell on the bad either. Like, you gotta be on your toes, but you gotta keep moving forward. And that's where my struggle is right now, but I'm working through it. Like I said, I really felt a big sense of relief after therapy today. I was hoping I would have more of a tool going forward for this scenario, but it was a lot more about acceptance and using that to build and go forward. So we'll see. But I just hope that everybody else is doing well wherever you're at on your journey. I get it. I'm here. I see you. I would be really curious to know if any of you are still watching this point down below. Like, have you ever been in this kind of scenario? Like, maybe not with a kid, but with a kid or a pet or a family member, a friend, like if you were babysitting, like, I don't know, anything where you felt responsible for somebody's accident, and if you have any suggestions on how you worked through it. Because I just feel like it's really hard. And it's much more different when it's not like to yourself. Like, if I did something that caused harm to myself, it's one way to deal with it, but then when it's to somebody else, I feel like it's a lot more difficult. So I'm just curious if any of you have experienced this, and if you have any tips or tricks, because I would love to hear them. Otherwise, guys, I really appreciate you hanging in here to the end. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button if you watched it all the way through and continue to watch this content. Please hit subscribe down below and bell notification next to it so you're alerted each time I post a new video. I will be back this weekend. I'm not sure if I will have Disney content this weekend or kind of a self-care segment this weekend, but I will be back on Saturday with a video as well. And as always, guys, I just hope everybody's having a great week, that we're able to go into it with a positive attitude, and it's better than last week. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you later. Bye.